Hi, I'm Tori, and I'm here today with another stack of books I got at the library book sale. So let's get started. First of all, I got To Kill a Mockingbird and Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. I read To Kill a Mockingbird in high school and haven't read it since, so I'm looking forward to rereading it. And then I've heard very mixed things about Go Set a Watchman. Some people really like it, and some people hate it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what my opinion is. Next, I got a little paperback copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I already own this as both a hardcover book and an audiobook, but I got this because I really love this story, and I like having little kind of cheap, beat-up, ratty copies of books to read when I'm like in the pool or something. So I'm going to add this to my collection of like pool books to reread when I'm on vacation. Then this is a little book called Last Night at the Lobster, and it's a story about a red lobster that's going out of business. And it's about the last weekend that it's open or something, and that just sounded like such a weird little story. I had to pick it up. Then I got this book, Physic. I know nothing about this series, but I keep collecting them because the books are so pretty. So I have no idea if the books are any good or not, but they're so pretty. If they're terrible, I'll probably just turn them into some kind of a decoration or something, because I can't stop buying them. And so I've been wanting to learn more about kind of local history because I really like history of like faraway places like England, but I don't read that much about history from where I actually live. And so this is about the history of California Native Americans, so I thought I would give it a read. Then I got this little book about the British Museum in London, and it mostly just has all different pictures of different kind of art that I think is in the museum and shows London. I'm not quite sure about that, but it looked fun and I love British things, so I got it. Then I got this book, which is a biography of Princess Kailani, I'm sorry I butchered that name, of Hawaii. And I got this because she is a Scottish Hawaiian princess, so I just had to read it. Next up, we have The Good Girls Revolt. This has been adapted to a TV show that I believe is available on Amazon, and I watched a couple episodes of that and enjoyed it, so I thought I would read the book too. This is about some women, and I believe it was like the late 60s or early 70s, who worked at newspapers, and at that time men were reporters and women were researchers, and there was a very strong like class divide between them. So this was about the women kind of trying to get equal footing with that. This next book I got just because it's famous and it sounds fancy and academic. This is The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir, and she was like a feminist writer. I think this book informed like a lot of the women's lib movements of like the 60s or something. I don't know. It looks massive and dense, and I will probably never read more than like a page of it, but it made me feel smart to buy it. And this is a little book about the Queens of England. It starts with Matilda of Flanders in 1066 and goes up to Elizabeth II, so pretty much all the queens. And I like kind of reading about British history, and I'm not sure if I'll read this cover to cover. I might just kind of use it to reference when I hear about a different British monarch. I'll use it to kind of look up more about them. Then I have Closing Time by Joseph Heller. This is the sequel to Catch-22. I'm actually listening to Catch-22 right now as an audiobook, and I'm really liking it. It is incredibly dry and sarcastic, and so I thought I'd get this. I may try to find it as an audiobook too, because often I'll like to read a series in the same format, or I might just read this. Then I have Welcome to Night Vale, which I've heard very good things about. This is a it was originally a podcast, and then like they made a book to go along with it, and it sounds very weird and very fun, so I had to get it when I saw it. Then I have The Girl Who Married a Ghost and Other Tales from the North American Indian. I really like mythology, and so I'm trying to read mythology from all different cultures, and I thought this would be interesting. Next, I have Life in the Castle in Medieval England, and I have so many books like this. I have a book that's just like pictures of castles. I have books all about life in medieval England. I just buy all of them that I can see because it was the library book sale, and it's really cheap, and it's just so much fun. Next, I have The Making of Pride and Prejudice. So this is all about the making of the BBC miniseries. That's the one that stars Colin Firth. And I love Jane Austen. I love her books. I love the movies based on them. And I love everything to do with like behind the scenes movie stuff. So of course I got this. Then I have this book, which is Travel Listography, and even though it's used, it is still completely blank, and it's basically a little journal, and you make lists of all different kinds of things you do throughout your life traveling. So you make lists of hikes you've gone on, museums and galleries, shopping spots, bars and clubs, cities and countries on every continent that you've been to. So this just looked like a really fun thing. I love lists. I love writing things down and keeping track of things, so I was very excited about this. Then I got Disney's Art of Animation from Mickey Mouse to Beauty and the Beast, and this came out in 1991, right when Beauty and the Beast was coming out, so this is kind of like a marketing tool for that movie, I think. So it tells the story of Disney animation for about half the book, and then the second half of the book is all about the making of Beauty and the Beast, so I am really looking forward to reading this. Next, I have this, which is called Life Goes to the Movies. Its copyright date is 1975, and as far as I can tell, it's the Life magazine. It's like a compilation of different articles about Hollywood and movie making and stuff. So it looks like it has some really cool different pictures and things like that in it. And finally, I got a book of Far Side comics. This was a comic strip that my dad absolutely loves, so I'm thinking I will probably give this to him for the next gift-giving holiday that arises. These jokes are really funny, sometimes a little over the line, and I know he will really like it. So I had a lot of fun buying those books, and I am going to go start reading some of them right now.